This film is sponsored by New York Life and its dedicated agents, proud sponsors of NFL team highlight films. New York Life, the company you keep.
Oh, I couldn't be happier. As you know, we said at the end of last year we were going to do the best we could to improve ourselves on both sides of the ball. We did that offensively. And now we've got Pat, who's number one, who's top-notch, and who's just what we need in the way of a pass rusher and helping our overall defense. I couldn't be happier. I'm delighted we've got him.
First of all, to the Detroit organization, I'm very glad to be here. Very glad to be here in Detroit and be a part of this team. I just feel like this organization is moving in a new direction. It's moving where this team wants to win. They're making the moves that shows that they're going to try to put a winning football team on the field. And I want to be a part of a winner. I want to be able to come in here and help these players, the Mike Kofers, Lomas Brown, Barry Sanders, Benny Blaze, those guys, get back to that NFC championship game, win it, and get to the Super Bowl.
The acquisition of Pat Swilling and 3 veteran free agent offensive linemen clearly signals the commitment of the Detroit Lions to deliver a championship to the loyal fans of the state of Michigan. It was just 2 years ago that the Lions were rewarded with their first division title in 10 years and were playing for the right to advance to the NFC Championship game.
Eric Kramer, short drop right, fires for more, up, touchdown!
Quarterback Eric Kramer passed for 3 touchdowns, and Barry Sanders responded with one of the greatest runs ever as the Lions rolled over the Dallas Cowboys 38-6.
45, and bumps to the 40, breaks it 35, 30, he's gone!
Indeed, it was a game and a season to remember, when Lions' pride swelled to the rooftops. And it is the intention of every Lion to make Detroit's 60th anniversary season another year to remember. Repeating as champions is the toughest test in sports. And in 1992, Wayne Font's Lions were tested as never before. A record number of injuries, the division's toughest schedule, and off-the-field tragedies proved to be too much to overcome. The season opener in Chicago set the tone for the season. After Brett Perriman threaded the Bears' secondary, Willie Green scored and the Lions took a 24-20 lead with less than a minute remaining.
To Willie Green for the touchdown.
But the Bears clawed back to win on a 4th down touchdown pass with 1 second to play.
The toss. The Bears are going to win it.
The Lions went on to lose 6 games by 6 points or less, 3 of them in the last minute of play. In Washington, the Lions were prepared to atone for last year's playoff loss to the Redskins.
We done blown about 6 great opportunities. If we want to win this, it's on us, man. Defense playing their butt off.
That's right, baby.
Hey, let's make our mind give 100% every play. Every play. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win.
Hey, it's ours to take. It's ours to take right here. It's ours to take.
Backpedaling, Rodney pumps once, now fires out, wide open, Willie Green. Willie off to the races, 30-20.
But a last-second field goal attempt fell short, as did the Lions, 13-10. Back in the Silverdome, a 78-yard touchdown strike from quarterback Rodney Peete to Jeff Campbell was one of 3 Detroit touchdowns that helped put the Lions ahead by 3 points in the final period.
Peete to Jeff Campbell, 78 yards.
But it did not prevent Tampa Bay from going 80 yards for the winning score with under a minute to go.
And back to throw, wide open hole, touchdown. And Tampa Bay leads at 26.
Against New Orleans, team receiving leader Brett Perriman's touchdown earned the Lions a halftime lead, but Detroit wound up on the downside of a 13-7 score. At Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, receiver Willie Green and the Lions gave the playoff-bound Steelers a scare before losing by 3 points with less than 3 minutes to play.
Far side 40, cuts inside 30, and is going to be breaking a tackle at the 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown Lions. Wow, Willie Green.
On Thanksgiving Day, the spirit of Mike Utley was back on the field. Utley's remarkable enthusiasm and encouragement was with the Lions as they took the lead over Houston late in the 4th quarter.
Kramer back to throw, fires underneath, caught, touchdown Lions, Barry Sanders.
But this time, Detroit fell victim to an Oiler drive that sealed the Lions' fate with 1:17 seconds to play. Despite a season filled with last-minute letdowns, the Lions can draw strength from their past when another Detroit team got up off the canvas and came out swinging. 10 years ago, in their 50th anniversary season, the 1983 Lions began by losing 4 of their first 5 games. Then, in one of the most remarkable turnarounds in team history, this resilient group rallied to win their division title. A defense that included current Lion Michael Kofer allowed the fewest points and fewest touchdowns of any team in the NFC. The Lions lost key players like Leonard Thompson, Keith Dorney, and Billy Sims for extended periods, but still had the depth, character, and Lions pride to win the division. Today's Detroit Lions team has that same comeback character, and they have the manpower and the star power to bounce back to the top of the NFC Central Division.
He's free! He's on his way! Unbelievable! 43-yard run. He was tied up twice.
A few championship caliber moments from 1992 deserve to be recalled. Moments that make the 1993 season appear all the more promising.
Gray at the 11, far side. Mel to the 20. Mel to the 25, 30. Mel 35, 40, off to the races. Oh, my! Unbelievable! 89 yards. Mel Gray does it again.
The snapper is Frank Winters. Good snap from center. Here's the kick. He blocked it.
Benny Blades. Blades at the 10. Blades, touchdown.
Sets the throw long again. He's got a man. Willie Green. Did he hang on? Yes, touchdown, Lions.
It really wasn't that long ago that the Lions were the dominant team in all of pro football. In this city of working men, the blue-collar Lions achieved victory in a workmanlike manner. They were teams of character and characters, and their heart and soul was quarterback Bobby Lane, number 22. His taste for the high life should have been his downfall. Instead, he was the fiercest competitor in all of pro football.
Bobby was not the best passer. He was not the best faker, but he just hated to lose. I mean, that's all there was to it. He was just, I don't care if you're playing poker, dominoes, golf, whatever. He just doesn't like to lose. He wants to win at whatever he does. He instilled that into everybody else, that no matter what, we always felt, no matter how far we got behind, that we could win.
And when they did, 4 Western Conference titles and 3 NFL championships. And it was they, those Lions of the 50s, who established a tradition of Lions pride. In the 1992 home opener, the Lions pulled a rare triple play as the offense, defense, and special teams all scored touchdowns in a 31-17 win over Minnesota.
To midfield. 45, got a block to the 40, off to the races, 30. Cut near side 20, Mel to the 15, weaving his way to the end zone, touchdown Lions. Oh my, Mel Gray goes 55 yards for the touchdown. First down, back to throw, Rodney fires, and caught! Touchdown, Willie Green! Oh.
It was the Lions' first win of the year, and their 3rd straight over the Vikings. But by week 8, they had yet to post their 2nd win. Still, Wayne Font's Lions gathered their spirits for one of their best performances of the season. They needed a shot in the arm, and got it from their special teams MVP, return man, Mel Gray.
It's all about you, Mel Gray! It's all about you, Mel Gray!
Gets up to the 15, Mel to the 20, he's got a seam, 30, near side 40, off to the races. Cut back midfield, inside 40, near side 30, Mel to the 20, got one man to beat.
Gray's return led to one of 6 Detroit scores as the Lions ran up a season-high 400 yards in total offense.
Buck showing blitz. Rodney back, got a block from Berry. Goes long right. Herman Moore just catches at the 30, 25, 20. Herman down the sideline, 15, 10, still going to the 5, and in, touchdown. Oh, my goodness. He carried a Buccaneer defender 30 yards.
Great block.
But I'll tell you what, if you want to give a star to anybody, give it to Barry Sanders, because he kept the on-rushing Buccaneer lineman from dropping Rodney Peete.
Big time, boy. Big time. Get it on there. Keep him
While Barry continued to refine his skills as a complete back, he took a little time to do what he does best. And the Lions took their first road win of the year, 38-7. But the downside of that glorious afternoon was the loss of yet another key offensive lineman, Kevin Glover. As the season went on, the Lions would see 16 different players along the offensive front. Only Lomas Brown and Sean Bowens played in all 16 games. The Lions' aggressive front office responded by signing 4 free agent offensive linemen. From Kansas City comes 305-pound veteran Dave Lutz, who has started 107 NFL games. In his 3 years at guard, he helped pave the way for 3 1,000-yard rushers. In 1988, Dave Richards was one of just 7 NFL rookies to start every game. Since then, the 310-pound Richards has been at the heart of the Chargers' punishing ground game. Bill Fralick has lived up to all expectations by earning numerous All-Pro honors and a spot on the All-NFL Team of the Decade for the 80s. Still in his prime after 8 pro seasons, the former Falcon is the only guard in the league to have played in 4 straight Pro Bowls. And adding another dimension to the Lions' offense is tight end Rodney Holman. A Pro Bowl selection 3 of the last 5 years, Holman's blocking skills are equaled only by his 4,000 yards receiving and 32 touchdowns. Holman, Lutz, Fralick, and Richards join Kevin Glover, Sean Bowens, Scott Conover, and Pro Bowler Lomas Brown to give the Lions their biggest, if not best, offensive line in team history. Defensively, it took just one man to provide what the Lions needed most, a bona fide All-Pro pass rusher. In perhaps the most significant trade in team history, General Manager Chuck Schmidt acquired Pat Swilling, the 1991 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Swilling has accumulated more sacks in the last 4 years than any linebacker in the NFC. And during that span, the Saints have had the highest-rated defense in the league.
Back for Greg, who wants to throw the ball, knocked loose. It's flying around the 15-yard line. Looks like Swilling has it at the 10, to the 5. He's in for the touchdown.
Swilling's number 56 hasn't been worn in Detroit in over 30 years. But in 1993, all that will change.
Numbers for athletes are very important. It becomes a part of you. It's an emotional part and a spiritual part of your game. And I really know how Pat feels. He wore this number in New Orleans. He's a great football player. And I think he'd like to complete his career with that number. And I think he's got to feel comfortable, and this is part of making him feel comfortable, and that's what we want to do. So I think it's about time we dust off the old number and bring it out of retirement and put it back into action. I'd just like to pass 56 on to him. I'm sure he's going to wear it with pride and dignity and help bring back the championship here to Detroit.
I feel very, very honored. But I'd like to reiterate one thing. This is his number, and it always will be his number. I'm just borrowing it for a little while, and when it's over, you can have it back. But thank you again.
What better way of really re-honoring, re-recognizing the great history that this team has had. And very honestly, number 56 stands for greatness. The last time we won a championship, number 56 was on the field.
I guess you would call me relatively small, but I think you have to look at football skills, okay? The intuition about playing football. Some of those things you can't teach or diagram, and I think I had that ability. I could see the play develop, and I had a feeling for where the ball was going, and I was able to make a lot of plays.
Hall of Fame linebacker Joe Schmidt played and coached for the Lions for over 20 years. And it's hard to imagine any player who served the team so long and so well. But if there is any player on today's Lions that best fits the Joe Schmidt mold, it is inside linebacker Chris Spielman. For 5 seasons, Spielman has been one of the most dedicated players in the game. Number 54 has led the Lions in tackles an unprecedented 5 straight seasons and has earned 3 trips to the Pro Bowl. Spielman is surrounded by a wealth of talent that includes George Jamison, number 58, rookie sensation Tracy Scroggins, number 59, and veteran leaders Mike Kofer, Tracy Hayworth, and Dennis Gibson. This young Lions defense boasts an abundance of heavy hitters, foremost among them, All-Pro Benny Blades, the Lions' defensive MVP. Blades is the point man on a secondary that includes Ray Crockett, William White, and Kevin Scott. A staple on special teams as well, Blades provides yet another source of Lions pride. In 1993, new defensive coordinator Hank Bulla will take advantage of the youngest group of defenders in the league, channel their intensity, and enhance their performance level to where they can become one of the elite units in the NFL. The Lions have the people to do it. Second-year defensive tackle Kelvin Pritchett responded with 7 sacks and led all linemen in tackles. More youthful enthusiasm is provided by noseman Lawrence Pete and by Mark Spindler, number 92, and Dan Owens, number 90. And rookie Robert Porcher gained valuable experience, playing in all 16 games. Another rookie, linebacker Tracy Scroggins, filled in for injured veteran Michael Kofer and became the Lions sack leader. He was only the second Lions rookie ever to do so. Pressure is something the Lions are bringing more and more of on every snap. Here, Porcher, Pritchett, and Scroggins bring it on against Cleveland. The result was William White's 4th interception of the year. Other dynamic contributors to the Lions' offensive future include Herman Moore and Brett Perriman, who finished 1 catch short of the all-time team receptions mark for wide receivers. And in just his second season, Moore became the Lions' primary long ball threat when he averaged almost 19 yards a catch. It was the highest average in the NFL for players with more than 50 catches.
Herman Moore got it in stride. 30. He's off to the races. They'll never catch him. See you later. Touchdown, Lions.
Incumbent quarterback Rodney Peete, Eric Kramer, and Andre Ware, number 11, all connected with Herman Moore in 1992. Ware earned his first starting assignment in 2 years and directed an error-free attack against the Cleveland Browns. The 24-14 Detroit win was highlighted by Reggie Barrett's first touchdown as a pro.
Fires to the end zone for Barrett. Caught! Touchdown, Lions!
The next week against Chicago, Herman Moore provided the magic.
Andre Ware rolls right, pumps once, and goes long. Herman Moore at the 40, and he's got it! Oh, what a...
And rookie kicker Jason Hansen kicked 3 field goals to fuel a 16-3 win as the Lions finished strong again, winning 2 of their last 3 games. Hansen and punter Jim Arnold give the Lions one of the premier kicking tandems in the NFL. Both Pro Football Weekly and the Football News named Hansen their Offensive Rookie of the Year, making him the fourth Lion to win that award. Another was a running back from Oklahoma who defined the term instant impact. In his first game with the Lions, Billy Sims exploded for 153 yards and 3 touchdowns, then went on to become the landslide pick as NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. In just under 5 seasons, Billy Sims became the Lions' all-time rushing leader. When Sims' career was cut short by a knee injury in 1984, Lions fans had to wait 5 seasons for the next great back to come along. It arrived in the form of Barry Sanders. The ultimate team player, Sanders delivers more than refreshments on the Detroit sideline. First and foremost, he delivers thrills at an alarming rate.
Barry's my new idol now.
We do want to run the football more.
It's Barry.
And off Barry. And off Barry.
Right there with the great ones.
See ya later.
To fully appreciate this number 20, you have to watch him for an entire season to understand the relentlessness of his effort from the very first minute to the last.
Barry, left side, Barry Sanders fights, second effort, third effort.
Hard tackle, Barry Sanders.
For the sake of running, for the sake of running, for the sake of running, I'm a competitor. For the sake of running, for the sake of running, for the sake of running, I'm a competitor.
Draw play to Barry, right up the middle, to the 10, to the 5. He's in, touchdown.
For the sake of running, for the sake of running, for the sake of running, I'm a competitor.
Barry on the run. That was speed. Barry on the run. That was speed. Makes a move inside. Makes a move outside. Makes a move this side.
Broke the tackle. Broke the tackle. Broke the tackle.
Barry, somebody.
He is something.
You hope you tackle.
Since joining the Lions in 1989, Barry has rewritten the Detroit record books, and his pencil's still sharp.
Holy mackerel! Down the line to give to Barry, tries the corner, got it, 5 and in! Touchdown, Lions! And off Barry.
Barry spins. Barry spins. See ya later.
He takes it in!
Touchdown, Lions. Barry Sanders. Touchdown, Lions. Barry Sanders.
That one is a highlight reel special.
In a season that produced both high times and hard times, Barry Sanders remained a standard of excellence and a symbol of Lions pride. And for Coach Wayne Fonts, the stage is set for 1993.
Definitely looking up. After the 92 season, Mr. Ford made a commitment to the Detroit Lion fans to improve this team through free agency. And with the hard work of Chuck Schmidt getting these players signed, I feel we are definitely an improved football team. The thing we have to do now is myself, my staff, and this team to get better, to get back to the championship game, and hopefully on to the Super Bowl.